Hey, what's up, guys? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. We'll just do a quick one here because I know it's a half day tomorrow, but still a lot to go over. I thought today was a fairly bullish day. I'll tell you why. The market got shredded at the open on this NVIDIA news and Google NVIDIA news, and they all just dumped off real fast. We were taking some puts in the morning right at the open on NVIDIA and on AMD, and I laughed right around here, and then these things just took off. I would consider this a bullish day because the market itself had such a nasty little dump. We were down maybe about 1%, but the full-blown reversal, right? I think that's important to kind of keep track of. So now we've had kind of 3 days of nice reversals. Dude, that goes a long way. So just something to be mindful of when you're going, through this stuff. You got to always look at the price action, and even though we're nudging into resistance, we got a little bit more before we're really in the clear. I would say this is the sweet spot. But, oftentimes you will get at some point one shakeout. Look, I thought today was, potentially one of those shakeouts. You're going to get probably another one before you come in here and kind of take out this range, and then we'll see kind of how we marinate over there. But, dude, otherwise, the mags were hot. The mags were hot today, and dude, there were reversals on a lot of these names, so what can you do? Let's take a look at the watch list. I don't think we got to get too crazy on some things. I thought this ATNM, dude, this is a Nuke Stock, 10 million shares, SITRANS pumping it. You get the perfect storm of stuff here. Let's add this one to the watch list for tomorrow. I think this one's probably over the next handful of weeks will make an attack into the 35. Interesting remount on Reddit here. So you've had about a 2-month-long bottoming pattern here. And it's just essentially kind of like a W pattern here, right? And you're starting to take out this range here. And I think remounting the 50-day moving average is probably a key thing. And so now, right, we're kind of coming through this. Dude, I think that kind of puts us back into, maybe not here, but right, you got at least a 250, maybe even a 275 in the cards on this. Good look to it. ZM, man, this thing's got the base of base. If you can be patient and find yourself an entry on this at some point. Look, and it did reverse a little bit into the close. So, first trigger is obviously probably over here. But if you can hold over there, and if it can base out a little bit, I mean, you're really in for something right there, right? So let's roll with that, right? Let's roll with that and add that to the watch list. Oh, it's all good, Miranda. KAVA here. Nice. This is also potentially a bottoming pattern here, right? You got a little bit of a W. Let's see how it reacts around this 50 spot. I think that's going to be the sweet spot if this thing comes about. Dude, Riot just been riding on this 200-day moving average. You're starting to round up. If this 9 EMA starts to curl up here, I think you're going to be in for a good spot. AVGO, I think we want to be buying this on all dips here. It is a little extended from the 9, but you can't argue with this one. It seems like some of that, maybe that NVIDIA money is going into some of these other names, right? Microsoft, big hold on that 200-day moving average to multiple days here. Let's watch and see if we get any weakness and test back. But we've got 2 spots here I think we need to be mindful of. Number one is, if we test back, and then this kind of 480 is a good trigger, 480 zone, I should say. But that's probably a little bit of a good trigger. If you can kind of come out of this, I think you'll be in for, you'll be pretty happy with this for the, couple days, not really anything long term. KGC, look, this is a gold stock. I think gold's looking really good here. Silver too. I've been, hold on here. Let me get rid of all this crap here. But silver here too looks fantastic. I'm eyeballing. I think what we want to do, I'm eyeballing these January, right? These January 50 strikes. If this, the measure move on this would be much higher than 50, but they're only $1. 6,000 volume, so pretty good. 16.4 on the 48s. Man, I think we could roll with something like this. That takes us into the next year even, and they're pretty cheap. I mean, to get the 48s, I mean, you're basically 1 day away, right? You got a $1.48 TR. So I think that's pretty cheap for buying about 1 day's worth. And then you got all of December and parts of January to kind of, for this thing to break out. And it looks like it's going to. Same thing with gold. So I'm eyeballing both of those for swings, looking at some calls that are a little bit out there, maybe about a month or so, and we'll see kind of what's going on. But that's a great look. I mean, you can't fight that one. Same thing with gold. Oof. And then, I got a couple of these earnings kind of plays here. I think, any tapbacks on comp we want to be looking at. You can see here, you got a big old base on this thing. You got 2 days sideways here on HLF, right? Maybe a little bit of a dip here, and I think that should be ready to party. And then if we need kind of a short here, I think, Netflix still has a really, really weak structure here. Like even with the market rampant, it can't do anything. I think, and this, you get these spikes that are just reversing. So you got a weak structure here on it that, if we need a short for tomorrow, I think we can roll in with something like that. Dude, there were some squeezes in retail. ANF, dude, you can't write a better trend than that, right? I had this in the Gopper list, and we kind of just, dude, this happens a lot, right? Where you get so focused on, techie this, tech that, and then you see something like this at the end of the day, and you're like, why wasn't I in this? Up 40% today, big trend around it, 12 million shares of volume. I think this one's a ripe for some secondary moves. And dude, look, even old Kohl's, right? Like, these old big box malls, like, things are coming back. And I really, I think this one's one to watch in the coming days here. 10 million shares in the sim. This is a robotics company. It's like an AI robotics kind of name. Awesome look to it here if we can get out. Dude, short list. And then, of course, let's just kind of dig into the big caps here. Meta looks like it's rebounding. That news that it's going to, be buying those Google chips is huge. I think, it saves them because they're getting maraudered on the CapEx, right, for wasting all these money. And, obviously Google's just gone nuts. I'm not looking to short this at all. I think, if we get 2-3 nasty days, probably this dip gets bought on this. The rest of these just look like okay, nothing special here. But Apple looks okay too. But I think probably Meta, AVGO, and then if Google ever dips, those are probably the keys. And then Microsoft, I think we can roll in with this too. Like if it kind of takes out this 480. So that's the list. I'm sticking to it. Hey, Black Friday too. I'll post some links and stuff in there. But we got always the sale of the year on that one. So I'll get that ready for you guys too.